Okay, guys. Welcome back to the Blue Knitter Podcast. My name's Jerry, but you can call me NJ because it's easier to say. And this is a podcast that I try to record at least every month, sometimes every week, and sometimes every 2 months because life gets in the way, man. Life gets in the way. Anyway, I talk about knitting mostly, some crocheting. I'm really new to crochet, and yarn buying. So all the things that everybody wants to see, and mostly sock knitting. I'm gonna be honest, I can't stop knitting socks. So typically I show you my finished projects and then some whips, and then we talk about acquisitions. But this is the third time that I've had to record this podcast due to technical errors. So I decided that in this podcast, we're just going to talk about Fiberfest, and then I'm like maybe in a week or 2 weeks, I'm going to post another one updating you on all my progress. That being said, I am going to talk about one project that I plan on casting on for October, so I can show it here, and then you guys can, and then I can just cast on. So hold on, I'm sorry, I'm pulling that up right now because I'm not prepared. But I am going to show that. But I'm going to show that last. So let's talk about DFW Fiberfest. Come on. Back. So DFW Fiberfest, if I didn't mention, I live in Dallas, the city of Dallas in Texas. I know there's several Dallases. So DFW Fiberfest 2014, it stands for Dallas Fort Worth Fiberfest. In case, because I realized I said that on the podcast, but I never told anybody. And also, anything that I talk about is in the show notes. And I always forget to say that. And a lot of the projects that I talk about, what I'm not going to talk about here, they're on my Ravelry, and I link my Ravelry. And then this is going to be a lot about yarn. There's going to be yarn. Even though I said I wasn't going to buy yarn, there's going to be yarn, and I'll link that as well. And my stash is available on Ravelry. And I'm destashing some stuff, and that's also available on Ravelry. So let me know if you have trouble navigating through Ravelry and finding all that. But anyway, since I have the program here, I want to show you guys. This is the program. And I don't know how most Fiberfests work, like Flock and all that, because I've honestly only been to DFW. I'm hoping to go to Flock next year, so I can like compare the two, I guess. But I just want to go to Flock because all my friends go. Just like the rest of us. But from what I understand, DFW Fiberfest, it's run on mostly donations, and it's a nonprofit. Well, I don't know if it's nonprofit because it definitely profits. But I think it's just run by fiber people who love fiber. But I know that there's like an aspect where you volunteer. I'm definitely not explaining this right because, like I said, I don't know anything about it. But I know it's put on by people who love fiber, and we want to keep it going. But it costs $5 for one day, and it goes from, well, the vendor hall, I'm sorry, it goes from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The vendor hall is open Friday through Sunday, and it's $5 per day or $10 for all 3 days to shop the vendor hall. On Thursday, it's just open to classes. So if you're one of those fortunate people who can take off work, all that, then you, or maybe there's a class you really want, and you take off that Thursday. Anyway, this year I really wanted to take the socks knitting on a loom class, but I had some financial issues and it just did not seem feasible to do it. And I'm also moving again, so it's just not going to work out. Anyway, so I gave up on that. So no classes for me this year. But this year was my first year volunteering, and it definitely will not be my last year volunteering because I had a lot of fun. But let's get into this. Like, we're going to talk about day one. So remember what I said, that I wasn't buying yarn because I have too much yarn. That did not happen. But I did buy less yarn than I thought I would. So day one, as soon as I walked in on that back entrance, and as soon as I walked in, I was like, I'm not going to buy anything day one except for my knitting needles, my stitch markers, and I think those were the only two things that I said I was going to buy on day one. Oh yeah, and a doodle deck from Fangirl Fiber. I'm sorry, from Pacific Yarn Co. So I walked in, and the first thing I saw at Honey Bunny Studios, I'm just gonna grab it so you guys can see. She had these new blue mugs. I have 2 of her mugs, but I don't have any of her little cups. And somebody suggested, oh, well, I said, well, I don't need another cup, even though they're both different. I don't need another cup. And she's like, oh, well, you can, she goes, you don't have to drink tea out of it or anything. And I said, I'm not going to hold it hot if it doesn't have a handle. She goes, well, it doesn't have to be hot. You can put wine in it. And I said, can you put wine, drink wine out of a ceramic cup? And she goes, you can drink wine out of anything if you don't want anybody to know what's in there. Thank you, whoever told me that, because there's wine in this cup right now. And I don't regret this purchase. And it's so blue. And I almost, like, I had to stop myself because I'm like, you can't justify having 3 Honeybug cups. I did it anyway. And I'm really glad I did, because that way I don't get FOMO like I did last year and go on the website and get the thing that I really want. And the second thing that I really wanted, but like I said I wasn't gonna get it just because it's expensive, but like it's worth it because she makes them by hand. So I got this bowl. See in the side, in the middle. And then on the back of all of her items, I'd show you on the cup, but I don't want to spill wine all over myself, is her logo. I'm sorry, I call her Honey Bun. It's Hun Bun Ceramics. Go. She does have a website, but she said nothing's going to be up for a while because she's doing a bunch of shows and trying to sell some stuff. So it's this bowl, and I think it's made for ramen, but I like it for rice. And you can I can set my chopsticks wrong side. She has little notches in the bowl. I think the husband made these, but she has little notches in the bowl. Not sure if you guys can see. So your chopsticks don't slide if you have the round ones. I have the flat ones because I usually eat out of a plate or a bowl, and I don't want them to roll. But you can set your chopsticks right on top, and when you're not eating, or when you're done eating. And you don't want to take your bowl to the sink, because I never do that. So that was the first thing that I purchased after I swore I wasn't going to purchase. I didn't even bring a bag in because the things that I needed could all fit in my little tiny minimalist walk-in knit bag. I was trying to be so good. So that lasted about not even a second of me being in the vendor hall that I bought that. And then she asked me if I wanted a bag, and I said no, and I ran back up in the car, and I had like an insulated Trader Joe's bag, and I just put them in the Trader Joe's bag and pretended that didn't happen. Then I said, okay, well, you just spent a lot of money that you shouldn't have, so we're gonna go through the vendor hall, and we're gonna get our knitting needles, and we are going to get our other things, that our Buzz Lightyear progress keepers that I will show you in a minute. So I was looking for the knitting needles, which is Brick House Yarns, and they were on the other side of the booth with Louisiana Yarn Guys. So I did finally finish my sweater. We can talk about it next episode, all the details, but I finally finished my sweater. Look at these buttons, guys. And I will put the buttons and everything, and we'll talk about it more on the next, like when I post like an actual podcast. I don't want to record this for a 4th time, so I'm just gonna do it separately because it's gonna drive me crazy. But so I was looking for Brick House Yarns, and all of a sudden I stumble on Louisiana Yarn Guys. So I'm at their booth for a very long time, and then they have these new little e-spinners. Are they called? No, they're not called e-spinners. They're called something else. I don't understand spinning. It's the one where you sit down and it has the wheel on either side and it's electric, and then you feed the yarn through. I attempted, they sell them, they were like 3D prints, and it was $500, and I think one was like $450, and I'm like, I suck at this. But the only way to be better is to keep practicing, and you'll get better. But anyway, I took a photo with Louisiana Yarn Guys and my girl Alicia. She's the one who named that blue color in the socks that I'm making. So this is one of the co-owners of Louisiana Yarn Guys, and then that's Alicia, of course. But yeah, and then I saw them, and I talked for a while, and then I was like, I have to get my needles before she sells out, because last year she did sell out. Oh no, last year she didn't have the size US 1, but she sold out of every other needle that I wanted to try. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back. So I went to Brick House Fiber Arts, and again, like I said, I'll link them below. She has these little prism needles, and so I've been dying to try these for literally a year. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Look at the warning on the back. I love it. So I am gonna knit my October socks on this because I want to try a vanilla project to see what my gauge is like. But they have a really good tip on them. I can take them out. They have a really, oh, I got US 1 or 2.5 millimeter. I'm sorry, 2.25 millimeter on a 40-inch cord. And these are her Average Joe, because she has cute names for all of her her needles. But the tips on these are like, they're crazy. You guys see that? They're just so pointy. A lot like Chowgoo. Let me grab Chowgoo so we can compare. I still have frog base socks. I don't have it in me. But they're very pointy, like Chowgoo at the tops. If you look. To compare the two. Come on. Focus. Focus. There we go. But I can't wait to try these. Like, these are probably my favorite purchase, I think, of the whole thing. Actually, all my Friday purchases, I think, were my favorite purchases. But oh my gosh, these cords, they have memory. They're lighter than Chowgoo. I am very excited and cannot wait to knit socks with these. She says, so if you guys see these and you want to order them, they're shaped like a hexagon, I think. Yeah, hexagon. So they're not round, but they're supposed to be better for your hands, supposedly. So if you want to order them, I'll link her below, and you can go to her website. But she said she is out of ones because she sold out of ones. That's why I had to run there and get them. And then she also has those flex tips where you get the 3 short stack of needles. I think she calls them a short stack, where you get the 3 needles and you do the flex tips. And I tried them there, but I kept dropping that 3rd needle because I'm so used to dropping my needle because I knit magic loop. And she's like, I think you have too much muscle memory to try them. So I didn't try them. So I was like, I didn't buy them. So I was like, and they were, I think, $45. They're not cheap. These were $32 repair needles, but I'm thinking they're worth it. And just by touching them, I can tell the difference between those and Chowgoo. And you guys know how it is. If you've been knitting for a while, you get a lot of needles. Anyway, I am rambling. I'm going to move on to the next. And so then I had to hunt down Miss Vicky from Vix Knits. And I got my Toy Story stitch markers. I know she's not watching because I didn't tell anybody I had a podcast. Ugh, it doesn't want to focus on them. Close enough. But I got my Toy Story stitch markers. And it took me forever to decide which closure I want because I don't like the lever back, the round one. And I don't like, and the other ones are too big. And I'm like, let's be honest, I'm only going to knit socks. And if I want it to be a progress keeper, all I have to do is just strap on a light bulb marker and add that. And then I think, like, yeah. So it's Woody and Buzz and Stretchy Dog. I loved it. So yeah, had to get those. Those were on the list. So that was second thing on the list. Checked it off. And then next I went to Fangirl Fiber. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to Fangirl Fiber in my head. So Fangirl Fiber, Yarnaceous Fiber, and Pacific Yarn Co. shared a booth together. And so I went over there to get my doodle deck. They were about to close. I don't know what the hell I was doing for the entire time. Like, I guess I was talking to people and yada yada. Oh yeah, I went to go see Rick of Whimsy Stitches. We didn't take a photo that day because his man was there and he seemed like he had a bunch going on. But we did take a photo on Saturday. I'll get to Saturday. But I ran over to Fangirl Fibers because I wanted to see their booth, and I had to get my doodle deck, and they were about to close. And so like they were calling time, and I was checking out. Anyway, here's a photo of the doodle bar. Let's look at that. And then while we're talking about it, I did go back on Saturday and take a photo with Emily. I'm just gonna show that now, even though it's not I'm not going in chronological order, but I did go back, and then I asked her if I could take a photo of her booth, and she's like, yes, thank you for asking. So I took a photo with Emily, Fangirl Fiber. And I wasn't big on the doodle thing. Is the rest of I'm going to show you another photo of their booth because it's just so cute. I'm sure if you've been to Flock, you've seen it. I'm going to show you this one. Anyway, I'm not a big doodle deck fan, but I'm a big, like, if you know me, I am a huge ocean girl. I'm a Cancer, and my spirit animal is the orca. I've always loved orcas and dolphins and sharks and all sea life. Like, I will go there. I think one day I was living in San Francisco and I was on the beach and I was watching dolphins just do spot hopping, and it was awesome. I loved it. Anyway, so ocean animals, all sea life. Like, I am a big believer in let's not pollute. Let's conserve as much as we can, because it all goes into their oceans, and they didn't ask for any of that. Anyway, not to be a downer, but I got the doodle deck and I talked to Jamie for a little bit of Pacific Knitco, and I was just asking her like the difference between the patterns that the digital ones and the doodle decks. She's like, the doodle decks are just physical, the patterns in there, and the doodle decks are just fun. So I did realize that there are more oceans. She has like a summer, like a big doodle pack, and it's like 52. And it's mostly, it's like a lot of summer stuff, but it's also like lobsters and mermaids. And because I remember thinking like, it would be awesome, mermaids. So anyway, I'm gonna get that one online because I don't need a whole deck for that. Because if you know me, I don't do books and tangible things because I tend to lose stuff or put it somewhere and forget where I put it. So the Ocean Doodle deck had to have, and I might get the digital copy too, but probably not. So there's that. And then while I was in line, they were about to close, and I think her husband or boyfriend, or I don't know, it was a gentleman, and he was there, and he knew a lot about Fairgirl Fibers. So he's like, he's all, yeah, we do sock blockers. And then I was talking to him, and then I was like, oh, they have Wizard of Oz stitch markers. So like that, he had already checked me out, and I said, oh no, did that already go through? He said, yeah, but I can ring you up again. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And so I got these Wizard of Oz stitch markers that are unbelievably difficult to see, and I already took them out, but anyway, I can't get them to go back in normal. But anyway, like, let's like kind of a look at them. Dorothy's not here. She's on a project. After I recorded 3 times, I got frustrated and I was like, I want to use my stitch markers, so I did. But anyway, that's how they came in this little Fangirl Fiber set. So it was about to close. They were about to close, and I was like, oh, they're not gonna, like, somebody said, are they gonna kick us out? And I said, they're not gonna kick you out. I've been doing this since, I've been here since 2011. He goes, she's been in this very spot since 2011. She knows her stuff. And so anyway, it was funny at the time. I got those, and then of course I came back, but I think I came back on Sunday. I can't remember. No, Saturday. Anyway, like, it's all blurring together. Anyway, so that was Friday, and I did really good, and I didn't buy 1 scrap of yarn. So go me, I couldn't believe it. So then on Friday, I volunteered. And I got there a little late. Like, I think I was like 10 minutes late because parking, I had to go. It was insane because there were like 3 events. There were 2 other events and DFW Fiberfest at the same center. And so I think the parking had to be free because it was ours, because DFW had already paid for it. So the parking was full because it was Saturday. So I had to park across the street at the other parking garage, and then I ran over there and I was like, oh no, I feel so bad. Because I'm volunteering, and I'm like, well, I'll stay late. And so I showed up, and then she's like, oh man, we got a lot of volunteers, and I don't think she knew what to do with us. And so she goes, okay, so she goes, go to this place, go to the information desk and see if they need you. And after that, go, well, here and see if they need you, and then go back to the information desk and see if they need you to do anything else after that. So I did that, and I went and I relieved the teacher for the tatting class, and I didn't know what tatting was. It's like this teeny tiny crochet hook. I wish I took some photos. I did not take good photos. If you want good photos and all of this is the experience, go see Tania's podcast. I'll link her below, of course, The Breakfast Crew, because she did this whole video. She was video everything, taking photos of everything. I love Tania. It was so nice to meet Tania. Anyway, it's like I know these people because I sit down with them. Anyway, Tania has a bunch of good footage about it. I'll talk about Tania in a minute. I'm getting there. So I was with the tatting teacher because she had to use the restroom. She is blind, so it took her a minute. She said it takes about 20 minutes to use the restroom. She's like, I don't want to inconvenience. She was like, I'm here to help. Like, they don't have anything else to do with me. So I sat down, talked to everybody about tatting, talked to them about her class, and just said hi to people when they walked up. It was really nothing. She had a very sweet dog who he knows, like, when his little harness is on, it says I'm working and you can't pet him, but she said as long as his harness is off, you can pet him, and he is so sweet. He was this pretty little golden lab. Anyway, I wish I took photos. I didn't even think about taking photos with that because I felt like I was working and shouldn't. But I think, like, when you volunteer with DFW Fiberfest, like, they want you to have fun, so I think it's fine. So after that, they're like, well, we don't need you. Can you just walk around and make sure everybody doesn't need to go to the restroom or needs any water or anything like that? And so, yeah, I was like, so I walked around to all the vendors, and I was volunteering to stay out of trouble and not buy yarn. But walking around and going to all the vendors, I was like, oh God, it's just, had to see all the yarn and pet all the yarn because there were all the people. But it's fine because I got to see everything. And then I snuck off, I think when I got to Valerie's side, and I went to go give Valerie her socks. So if you remember these socks from, I think it was last episode, my Coffee Talk socks, and I said I was, probably going to give them to my sister. I don't get my sister socks because she's mean and she asked for socks. So I made them for Valerie, but I couldn't say I made them for Valerie because I know Valerie watches the podcast, Creations by Valerie. I will link her below. We did not get a photo because I forgot to get a photo with her, but I snuck off and went to go see Valerie, and Valerie goes, I have something for you. I was like, oh, well, I might have something for you. She had no idea she was getting socks. I reached out to Aquila, Lefty Knitter Podcast, because she does sock cranks to support her family, and I reached out to Aquila from Lefty Knitter Podcast and asked her if, how many stitches she cast on for Valerie's sock cranks, and Valerie told me she was an 8.5, so I was like, bet, got this. So I made her. She said they fit, and she said she took a photo, so I'm hoping that they fit. I told her if they didn't fit, I can make you another pair, and we can send that pair to Knit the Rainbow. But she said they fit. And so Valerie surprised me with this book. It's a free book. And it's the Twisted Sisters Sock Workshop. But it has some really cool socks in here, but it also had this really cool gauge chart in it. Let me see. Look at these socks. These are so cool. They're like little gloves. I don't like toe socks, but maybe I'll like them if I knit them. Because I bought a pair from the store and I'm like, I don't really care for them, but I might like them if I hand make them. And then they have those little sock mittens with the two toes. So cute. I don't know how those work, but they're just cool. I guess my big toe goes in one, the rest of my toes go in the other. I don't know. And then I think it covers all kinds of heels in this thing. I'm trying to find, there's like a little chart. So it has a working stitch chart, which explains like gauges, and then it has a gauge chart. I mean, I think the information in it is really cool. It's an interweave book, and then she goes through sock measurements, just like any sock book would. It's a little older, so it's more in depth. You know, back in the day, people used to give you the farm, and nowadays you gotta pay for the farm. It is an interweave book from 2002, so not that long ago, but I was excited to get this. I'm pretty sure she's had it in her collection for a while, and it's a nice book to add to my collection. Vintage socks from 2022. So then I went, and then we saw, when I was like sneaking off to give Valerie her socks, we saw Ross from Twisted Ambition and his husband in line at DFW Fiberfest, in line to come in, and I said, Valerie, is that Ross from Twisted Ambition? And of course he sees me, and it's like we wave at him, he waves at us, and we're like, hi, and then we like introduced ourselves and told him who we were and all this, and And he was here to just kind of check out the festival, and I thought that was so cool. Like, they're in Oklahoma, they're not far, they're like from around the pond. So, and he was talking about vending there. Later that day, I'm just gonna show it now, because a lot of these stories kind of run in together. Later that day, I saw him, and then Tania was filming, and Tania goes, "Girl, do you know who this is?" And I said, "Of course I know who this is." I was like, "Can I get a photo?" And I asked him for a photo. I said, "I didn't want to jump over the table to get a photo with you because I wasn't even supposed to be there." So me, I know, it's funny to myself. So me, Tania, Ross's husband, I forget his name, and then Ross, we all took a photo together. It's cute. And I'm in my volunteer smock because I'm supposed to be working, but let's be honest, I was taking pictures, having fun. But I helped people, so, you know, we're good. Yeah, but so that happened, and then so I'm walking around just like looking at yarn, and I can't buy anything because I'm working, so like I didn't really like stop at a lot of booths and stuff like that. Like my excuse was I'm working, so I didn't want to go there and do that. So I'm walking around and I'm just like helping out all the vendors and doing a little shopping, little selfish shopping. So I got one vendor water, and then every booth I got to, they're like, "Oh, one of your people already came," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just kept walking around. And then I got all the way around. Oh wait, pause. So, and like halfway through, there was this booth called Knit ATX, and I think she's a yarn shop in Austin, or she's an online shop in Austin, or but I think she has a yarn shop in Austin because it's ATX. I did not catch her name. She was busy, but I said, "Do you need anything?" She goes, "No, but help yourself. Feel free to grab any pom-pom book on the table." And I said, "What?" Because I thought I misunderstood her. I had to, right? Like, this woman just offered me a free book. She goes, "No, grab any pom-pom book." And then her friend gets up and says, "Oh no, she means grab one of like any of the pom-pom books up here. They're for the volunteers. You could have them for." And I said, "So I can have the book? Like, it's free?" And she said, "Yes." And so she had sweater books. They were like old pom books. And if you go on to Pom Pom right now, I think they're like 50% off or 75% off or whatever for the physical copy. So you can order them now. But she had them there. And they're all in Euro, of course. And then I saw a table of like, there were raglan sweater books and all this other stuff. And then I saw Ready, Set, Stock. And I didn't want to look at any of the other ones. I didn't care about the sweaters. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted this book. I think I thumbed through it and I saw this pattern. And I'm like, and then I think I saw, let's see, not that one. Where is it? Just trying to find you. And I saw this pattern. And let's be honest, it was a book that said socks, so I was gonna get it. But anytime I see a book and there's two things I want to knit out of it, and it was free and I wasn't paying for it. So come on, Ready, Set, Sock by Palm. It was 21.50 euro when it came out. I think on their site it's like €8 now, so it wouldn't be that bad. Or it's like €5 now, so like $8 or something like that if you get it now. But you do have to pay shipping, and they're apparently only for the U.S. And then that night I went to Nacho Night with Juju Knits, and Mace of Skeins was the one who told me. What's this? Oh, it has a little shoe size chart at the end. I think I did see that. You can see that. There you go. Macy from Mace of Skeins told me that all of their books have a digital code at the end. Gonna cover it up. Don't be weird, guys, and go try to use my code. And then that code lets you get the digital pattern off of Ravelry. So of course I entered the code. I don't even think you can still use the code since I already used it. I entered the code and the whole thing got free, and then it added it to my Ravelry library in case I ever lose the book. And you guys know me, like if there is a digital copy, I will grab that too. So that's exactly what I did. So I am so excited to knit a pair of socks from this book. Like this was probably one of the better things that happened to me, and it was free. Free. And then of course I went back and I told Valerie, and Valerie was able to go get her book too. She was really sweet. So I got that, and then I told all the other volunteers, I'm like, oh my God, somebody give me a free soft book. So anyway, that one I did not post photos of or anything, just because I didn't buy it, so I think I forgot I had it. Anyway, got that book. I was super excited about that. I'm gonna try and speed through this. And then I was done with my volunteer shift all the way at the end, and then I went to go see Rick, and it was Whimsy Stitches is Rick. I didn't get any yarn from him, but I have like $500 worth of yarn from him, so he was okay with that. That I still need to knit with. And so I went over to see him, and they're like, do you need anything? And he goes, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, like I would love a cup of coffee. And I said, okay. And then and I said, let me get you a cup of coffee. And he goes, oh, no. And then he goes, you can get yourself one too. And then he pulls out his register and gives me $20 in the register. And he goes, they have some upstairs. I said, we are not drinking that nasty upstairs coffee. Guys, if you ever go to DFW Fiberfest, do not go upstairs and get coffee. There is a Starbucks across the street in the Westin Hotel. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go next door and get the coffee. Well, they close really early, I think, because they're a coffee shop and a hotel. So they were closed. I had to go back to the car because I had yarn in my car that I was giving to one of the vendor's kids, because I didn't want it anymore and there was no nylon in it and I didn't like it. I didn't even show you guys. I probably could have gave it away here, but didn't. So I went back up to my car to get the yarn, and I was like, I'm gonna go see if I can Google and find us real coffee, because I refuse to drink that trash upstairs. And so I Googled, and there was a coffee shop right around the corner behind the Marriott, and they make their own vanilla. Like, if I ever go back to Irving, I'm gonna get some of that vanilla. So it was just such a good cup of coffee. So that is my new go-to coffee place. I will link that coffee place below if I can find it. If you're ever in the Dallas area and you want to go support them. But I do think they also ship their vanilla and they make it in-house. So yum. So that was good. I went back, and then me and Rick talked for a little bit, and he wasn't having the best day. Oh yeah, and that place did not accept cash, so I took care of his coffee. I took a little photo of how they don't accept cash because I knew he wouldn't believe me. And then he's like, well, how much do I owe you? And I said, I don't remember. So that was history, as they say. And then I took a photo with Rick from Whimsy Stitches with the rainbow in the back. I do have a special place in my heart for the boys, but he's just great at what he does, and great yarn. And I should have took a photo of his booth, but I didn't. But I'll link him below for sure, because I've talked about him twice now. So that was Friday. Okay, and then I got back, gave the young girl her yarn, and then I just went around and shopped. And the first booth, no, I didn't. I went and I sat down with Valerie and her husband, and I knit a couple stitches, and I talked to a girl who hated rats, and I was not dealing well about her killing a rat, and because I love rats. Anyway, so then I was like, Valerie and her husband wanted to sit, and I wanted to walk around and look at yarn, and I just can't sit for too long. Like, I'm a very active person. So I went to Leading Men Fiber Arts to try to find red for my Jaws doodle, because I want to give him like blood there's a Jaws doodle in here that I love. Let me see if I can. No, I'm not going to do it. I'll show you guys when I knit it. But she does, if you go online, like, and look at her doodle decks, she has a Jaws doodle. But anyway, I went to there, and then I went to Gritty Knits. I have her yarn, so I don't think I should keep buying some. And I wanted to touch the Manor collection from Red Stag Fiber. So that's what I did. I went to go see him while I was volunteering, and I pet it, and I was like, ooh, I'll come back. Because I told him I had some spin cycle that I needed to match up with it and see which one to go with it, because I told him I was thinking about knitting a pressed flowers. Anyway, I went back. Shannon was at the booth, and Shannon's Josh's wife, for anybody who doesn't know, she is the owner of the Modern Skein Yarn Shop. And I went back with my spin cycle, and Shannon and I found this colorway. So the spin cycle I already got because I got it in Washington. So I went back with this colorway. And me and Shannon decided on this colorway. And it's called Welshire Slate. And it's Welsh, Yorkshire Sport from their Manor collection. And it is 75% Polworth, 25% Masham, 328 yards, 300 meters, 100 grams. And it says 4 to 6 size needles. So I am thinking with their powers combined, it's going to be the most beautiful pressed flowers. Like, if you remember, I bought this for my tessellated. I am not feeling that sweater, guys. I own it, everything, all the good stuff, but I'm just not feeling it. So, but I am feeling the pressed flowers by Amy Christoffers. I'm sure you've seen it unless you've been under a rock somewhere, but I'll pull up a photo for you if you haven't, and I'll link it below. So I'm thinking that is gonna be beautiful. And Shannon said like the two are gonna contrast well and they're just gonna pop and be awesome. So I am very excited about this. I emailed Spin Cycle to see if they have one more skein of this because Shannon thinks I'm gonna be a little short. And she said if they don't have it, she might get some in later. So that's future me's problem, but I think I'm gonna use the extra skein for the sleeves. And then that was the only yarn I bought. So I bought 4 skeins of that. And that was the only yarn I bought on Friday pretty much because they were about to close. So I got 4 skeins of that for my pressed flowers. Going to start it. That'll be my winter sweater. Put you in here. You can probably hear it down there. Okay. And then fast forward to Saturday, I went to get in. I got a late start on, fast forward to Sunday, I got a late start on Sunday. And I went in, Valerie was gonna give me some gray, so I didn't buy any yarn. And this is for my dolphins and for the sharks. But I'm gonna use this for the sharks and use like a bluer for the dolphins. So this is gonna be for the sharks. We're gonna mix some red with him. So I don't know what this was. She said it was 75-25, so I believed her. And then Valerie also gave me this from Teal Torch Knits. And it's a cashmere blend, and I'm like, wow. She said the colors just gave her Injeri vibes. So I think this wants to be a scarf, to be completely honest. So it's soft, and I like it. And she's right, it's Injeri vibes. So thank you, Valerie, for the 100th time. You're awesome. And then I went to, I had to go to Forbidden Fibers because I love her. I was talking to her the other day. I showed her my Wizard of Oz stitch markers. I have a Wizard of Oz Dorothy skein that she did because she did a Wizard of Oz collection. She had a Wicked collection. Honestly, guys, I hated that book just like everybody else. Apparently, I was not the only one. Everybody hated that book. I don't know how it did so well. I have never seen the play because I hated the book so much. And it was just not my thing. So she advised me to see the play because she thinks I would like it because I'm a Wizard of Oz fan. But anyway, I got this from Forbidden Fibers. Oh my God, seriously? Look at that. Can we just take a moment? It's got some Selena on it. I couldn't decide between the sparkly base and the non-sparkly base, and I didn't want to get too much because I already have 2 skeins of her yarn. One is actively on the needles. And I wanted to I think I'm gonna get her Wicked color, her, why can't I remember the witch's name? It's gonna come to me. Anyway, the witch, you know if you read Wicked or saw the musical. Ingenious Curiosity is the colorway. I forget what club this is from. 70% merino, 20% nylon, 10% Selena, 495 yards, 4 ounces, 113 grams. So I'm gonna just guess what I'm doing with this. Pair of socks, of course. So put that in its spot. Then I was running through the vendor hall and somehow, I was trying to avoid, no wait. I forgot. I did buy more yarn on Friday. So Stellar Needle Crafts, she had all her sock sets on sale and I only got one because I was trying to be good. And I saw this and it gave me Wizard of Oz vibes. And yes, I'm having a Wizard of Oz moment right now. And I think it's because of that Wicked movie coming out. I love the Wizard of Oz, huge Wizard of Oz fan. I did tell Fangirl Fiber that she needs to do a Wizard of Oz advent when I came back, and I word vomited all over her, and she's like, that's a good idea. Maybe I should. And she was all about it. She loves the Wizard of Oz too. Anyway, this is Dark Forest. And I think I'm going to make a pair of socks from the book out of it. It's 75-25 and 75% nylon, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and a 20-gram mini. And the mini is 24 karat. It's a discontinued colorway of hers. She put that together and made some sock sets. And then I needed some black for my killer whales. And it's just always good to have black yarn around. So I really liked her black. It was all overly saturated. And this is the black. And the colorway is called Abyss. And it's also 75-25. So that was on Friday. And I only got those two. Sorry. And then I stumbled upon in this booth the Whimsical You, because she had this really pretty orange, and I was like, wow, I've been looking for an orange, and this one just caught my eye. So, and she was really sweet. She's a sock knitter, and I always love sock knitters. So look at that orange. It's 75-25 as well. Just gonna squeeze that together. That's a good orange. With that. So I got the colorway, and it's called TTFN, which is what Tigger says at Winnie the Pooh. Love me some Winnie the Pooh, you know that, because I have the Vicky Stitch Winnie the Pooh stitch markers. And I was looking for a white for the sea creatures, because I'm gonna need some white in there. You can never go wrong with a white. It's not a white, it's indie dyed white, and it's called Morning Mist, and she put a little bit of blue in there. It's 463 yards, 100 grams, 75-25, and it's a 4-ply. So, and the orange, I don't know why I got it. I've just been looking for an orange, and I wanted it, and she had a really pretty orange, and I might get more because I liked it. Then I was headed back to Fangirl Fiber, and I saw Heathered Handmades out of the corner of my eye, and then she had two sock sets that I wanted. One was purple, the other was blue. And then, so I was like, oh, this is still sitting here. And I put it in my cart when you had a sale. And so I finally grabbed it because it was a cute little sock set. And so she just put these together. They didn't come that way, but like originally they didn't come that way. But she finally, I think, put them together for the show and made little sock sets. And then this is Light Wash on her standard sock base. It's just a pretty blue. And then this is Reflection, also on her standard sock base, which is, I'm sorry, her standard sock is 75-25, 463 grams. 463 yards to 100 grams. Sorry. And there's just some cute little speckles in there. Blue, blue, blue. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that's gonna knit up. I thought I had a pattern picked out for it. Oh, I was gonna do Rhinebeck Roomy by the Crazy Sock Lady, which she's having a sale now. If you see this before, oh wait, no, it ends tomorrow. Never mind. And then Mustache Yarn. I'm almost done, guys. I need another sip of wine. Mustache Yarn on Sunday. She said, I am not packing all this yarn up, so I'm gonna have a yarn sale, and so everything was 15% off. So of course I couldn't decide, and it took me forever. And so she had her mill ends, and their mill ends are just extras and leftovers that they don't want to list on the site because it takes a long time, so they just discount the mill ends. So I got a mill end of, it's called Ticky Tacky Houses, and it's from the show Weeds, because she said she often feels like a drug pusher to the yarn community, and she's not wrong. Ticky Tacky Houses, this is 56 grams, so I can definitely get a pair of socks out of it. This was $15.68. It's already marked out, and then I got another 15% off of that. So I can't wait to knit a pair of socks out of that. If you know, you know. And then I got 2 full skeins, and if you know Mustache Yarn, their yarn's not cheap, but it's self-striping, and she gives you 100 grams. So the next one I got is Equinox, which is like a faded rainbow. I cannot wait to do that. So, and then the last one I got, and it was really hard not to, is The Doctor. I have a lot of Doctor Who things, but I've only seen like I think 2 seasons of Doctor Who, and it was the first 2, the old British ones. But Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady made a pair of these, and I just love it. I love all the colors in this. Like, it was awesome. So, had to have it because I've been stalking it ever since she put it out, and everybody went crazy for it. And those are all my purchases. On Saturday, I went to the Juju Crew Knit Crew. Here's a photo real quick of my entire haul. Well, minus my mugs and everything, but I just thought it was cute to lay it down and take a photo of the whole thing. Okay, and then on Saturday, I had nacho night with the Juju Crew. They were so awesome. I want to move to Fort Worth and go hang out with them. But they gave me, that's me and Macy's Skeins. She works at Juju Crew and she's a yarn dyer, and she's doing a whole Wicked collection now, and I'll link her below too. But they gave me this cute little book for nacho night, and it has all these little post-it note pieces in there. And it's a sticker. It's Macy's Skeins and Juju Knits. It's upside down. We got, and then we got a tattoo. Juju Knits tattoo. Then we got a pen, and these are all sitting on the table for us. I thought it was really cool. So thank you, Juju Knits. I will definitely have to take a day off because they're I am off on Sunday and Monday, and the only days they're closed are Sunday and Monday. So I have to take a day off of work and go see them, but it will be worth it. There's a Spiral Diner over there, which is a famous vegan restaurant here. So that'll be fun. And this came in the mail after I shot the last podcast. It's from Ginger Snap That. And it was from it was a Knit City Canada show colorway that you could only get on the Knit City Canada website. So I had to order it. And it's called Blue Jeans, Belt Buckles, and Cowgirls. Oh my. And it is a 75-25. It's on their Lush base, but it's a 2-ply 75-25. And I have never, ever, 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 ever tried a 75-25 2-ply. So I am so curious. I even told her, I'm like, I want to know what's going on with that and how it knits up. So that is it. That is all that I bought. I did better than I have in the past, but not as good as I thought I would do because I promised no more yarn because I don't need any more yarn. But so yeah, take a look at my D-stash if you can. Now for October, this is a bag I got last year from the Sexy Knitter. It's like horror lattes. So it's like Michael Myers, Freddy, and Ghostface and lattes. Oopsie. And Sexy Knitter. Love her. I did go see her, but I didn't get to stop at her booth, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I would have shopped way too much. But this is my October kit. So it has my Freddy koozie from Lala Styles in there. And then it has my, smells like yarn. It has Always Be Kind, my Jack and Sally, or I'm sorry, my Jack and Sally, but it's Jack Pumpkin variegated sock yarn. And then it has some spooky classic horror stitch markers. So I'm gonna use these for Halloween. I haven't even opened them yet. It's so funny. Oh wait, I have. Anyway, I don't want to crinkle the hell out of you, but there's Ghostface. There's just like a bunch of those little made in China ones, so it's okay if I lose them. They're socks. So I'm gonna cast on the OMG Spacious Socks by Megan Wilson. And it's got the OMG heel that doesn't disrupt the stripe. So I'm gonna cast those on, and those will be my October socks. And I think I'm taking a bit of a break in October, and I'm not going to knit a whole bunch of socks, but I'm going to use my new needles for those. And just finish up some whips that I have, and that's about it. Okay, guys, it's been longer than I thought it would be, and I promise you another podcast in just a little bit, in like maybe a week or two, where I show what I've been working on. And hopefully cast on my October socks. I'm so excited, but I am going to skein this up right after I'm done talking to you guys and finish up the toes on another pair of socks, because I only have until midnight to enter them into the podcast. I bought a Beetlejuice box and I'm gonna go see Beetlejuice, but we'll talk about that next week. I will see you later, guys. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'm sorry this was so long. I did not mean to ramble on. Skip through if you want to just skip through the yarn. All right, bye. Thank you for watching.